All right. Time to get newsy again for a second. Sometimes newsy stuff uh, interests me. And I talked a little bit before about things that were going on with FEMA, and yeah, that was in the news after the very suspicious hurricanes and the damage that they did to places that never saw hurricanes run through before, like mountain towns in North Carolina, just unheard of stuff. But putting that aside for now, looking at the aftermath, there were questions about the job that FEMA was doing, and how slow it seemed to take them to get there, and there was some suspicion about it. There was some cynicism about whether it was politically expedient for them to to do a good job in these regions where maybe the current administration wasn't being favored by voters, generally speaking, in the then upcoming election. But now we have this story: FEMA who allegedly told workers to avoid Florida homes with Trump signs fired. So there was an official. There's verification. There's paperwork. There's receipts on this, which indicate that a worker for FEMA, a high-ranking worker, uh, told people to avoid signs where there were Trump or houses where there were Trump signs. The Federal Emergency Management Agency supervisor accused of ordering her subordinates to skip Florida homes with Trump campaign signs has been fired. Marnie, Washington, Marnie apostrophe I, Washington. That makes her much more likable. That spelling, Marnie with an apostrophe I, Marnie Washington. Yeah, that makes her really, really likable. I guess she can't really help the name that she was given, but still, sometimes there is something in a name. Was sacked for telling disaster relief workers in Lake Placid, Florida, to quote not to go to homes with yard signs supporting President-elect Trump. FEMA Administrator Deanne Criswell said Saturday. This is a clear violation of FEMA's core values, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, she's saying, no, this is terrible. We hate that this happened. This person goes against our principles, and this employee has been terminated, and we have referred the matter to the Office of Special Counsel. And here's a picture of Marnie herself. Look, it looks like a very charming person. And that picture just looks like somebody who doesn't have any kind of bad attitude at all. This is the woman who was accused of apparently telling her FEMA underlings not to go to damaged houses that had Trump signs, not to help people who had Trump signs in front of their houses. So this, she goes on and on. This bureaucrat, goes on and on. I will continue to do everything I can to make sure this never happens again. This disturbing directive was allegedly made in late October, as Washington worked with a FEMA team in the Central Florida town in the wake of Hurricane Milton. Now, okay, so this was, I don't want to read this whole thing, but let's see. There's lots of other you can look this up and read all these details if you're interested. They have some background info on her. That's not really important, but here's the memo that she's sent out. Implement best practices, not one goes anywhere alone. Second bullet point, avoid homes advertising Trump. Third bullet point, practice de-escalation and preventative measures. Next bullet point, communicate and follow the rules. Bring a towel with you tomorrow in the field. Frequent breaks and drink water. Avoid high salt diets. Blah, blah. The rest are just common sense stuff that's not at all. Where'd it go? These are common sense things that aren't really. They're just basically, don't stand out in any way. And among all these sort of boring little things like drink enough water, don't wear yourself out, bring a towel, don't go anywhere alone, avoid homes advertising Trump. Okay. So, there are no parties when we are recovering, Lake Placid Mayor John Holbrook said. Hearing about her discrimination really sickens me. Yeah, I mean, and this is reminding me of the first assassination attempt, right? And all of the bungles, all of the ways in which the Secret Service, the most elite defensive force in the world, supposedly, all the things that they did wrong to enable this assassin to take pot shots at Trump and almost kill him. And afterwards they were saying, "Oh well, clearly we've got to do something about this." Well, why are you doing something about it now? How did you have to wait for that to happen to say that you need to do something? Workers told the Daily Wire they ultimately skipped about 20 homes displaying Trump signs or flags between late October and early November due to Washington's edict, denying those residents the chance to sign up for federal relief aid. Okay, there you go. Trump sign, no entry per leadership, one worker wrote in FEMA's tracking system when explaining a skipped home, according to a screenshot obtained by the outlet. Again, there are receipts for this. And let's just land on her beautiful face once again. Her her luscious countenance. Let's just let it shine before us here as we discuss this. I'm wondering if this is one person. Reportedly, she has complained of being scapegoated by FEMA. I'm wondering if that could mean that this is more. There's more. That this is like a part of the culture of the organization. Because there were a lot of complaints about how they weren't getting there very fast, and that people were suffering, people were dying, people were going through all kinds of ordeals in the wake of this devastating disaster. And FEMA wasn't there. Okay, let's get off her face. I've had enough of it. Again, so yeah, that's a good question. That's a question that I have. Maybe she is a scapegoat. Maybe there are more. This was all stuff that was out there being talked about, being questioned. I don't know if they were actually saying that they were avoiding going to specific houses, but I think there was the suggestion that, well, maybe they're not so interested in helping out quite as much in a place where they think the population, they don't have many voters for the current administration. Anyway, this is quite a story. And it raises more questions in my mind. And it should raise questions for you as well.